who were the infamous Elohim and Nephilim according to the Old Testament of the Holy Bible? In the Hebrew language, the word Elohim has many interpretations. It means the Son of God, angels, rulers, and men distinguished for their virtue. Thus, in many texts, when you speak of Elohim, in some places they mean the angels of God, and in the other places they mean children of God. Therefore, in many cases, the sons of God may be called angels of God, just as virtuous people may also be called angels. In fact, the Roman Catholic Church, in the official version of the New Testament, the Vulgate, translates Elohim as the children of God. The Father of the West, St. Augustine, also dealt with this issue, who in the book State of God, De Civita Dei, argues that by the term Elohim is meant virtuous people as angels are spirits and do not have neither sex nor material bodies. Therefore, it's not possible for the angels to enter into relations with the daughters of men, and therefore in the book of Enoch by the word Elohim is meant the virtuous. After all, this is proven in the book of Genesis, where in the 6th chapter, Genesis 6, the third version 6:3, God refers to people and not to angels when he says, "My life-creating spirit will not remain in people for always, because they are carnal." Therefore, it was the virtuous people and not the angels who were attracted to the beautiful women and united with them. Jesus himself, speaking to the Sadducees about the resurrection of the dead, told them, "When the dead are raised, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage, but will be like the angels in heaven." Matthew 22:30. It's thus understood that angels do not marry and therefore cannot enter into relationships with women. The Elohim are the virtuous and righteous people, and in another occult text entitled Book of Adam's Race, in the text Jared, who in the Old Testament is presented as the father of Enoch, speaking to his children, says to them, "I exercise you in memory of your father Adam and Abel and Seth and Enoch. Listen to me and do not come down from the holy mountain, because if you come down, life and mercy will no longer be with you, and you will no longer be children of God, but of the devil." In conclusion, the theme created about devils, about angels and having a relationship with daughters of men in the book of Enoch is due to the wrong translation of the Hebrew word Elohim, which the translators in the Greek language gave it the meaning of angels and not the virtuous people. Angels and Elohim are two different entities. Angels are incorporeal and Elohim with a material body. The material body does not necessarily mean flesh. Orders of angels: seraphim, cherubim, thrones, dominions, powers, authorities, principles, archangels, angels. Elohim orders: El Nor, El Lin, El Zin, El Nir, El Lan, El Shan, El Tere, El Gan, El Tan. According to Genesis, first God created Elohim and then the angels. The Elohim are considered higher entities than the angels, especially the first Elohim, the Ancient of Days, as Enoch says. And after the creation was completed, he commanded that man be created in whom, in the image and likeness of the first Elohim. Since man would be in the likeness of the Elohim, in his evolution, he would be superior to the angels. For this reason, the rebellion of the angels took place, led by Shamael, also known as the devil. Angels who rebel were known as fallen angels. Later came the fall of man from the sky, with the well-known story of Adam with Eve and the apple. Of course, all this requires enormous analysis, something impossible in such a small space. With the fall of man, God commanded to watch over the earth and man 201 Elohim, and to man the command you increase and multiply. To multiply is to become more, to increase is to evolve into what we are destined to become. That is, in the likeness of the Elohim, the 201 Elohim who do not have the right to increase and multiply committed a great sin, a mistake, multiplying. So according to the few published sources, which are ancient Greek fiction, the Old Testament, and the apocalyptic book of Enoch, some according to the Old Testament, Genesis chapter 6, 1 and 2, the Elohim, despite his will, God, they consorted with the daughters of men and created beings, creatures, separate offspring of an act of iniquity, violation of the universal genealogical rules. These creatures fought each other in the War of the Titans, with the winners closed the defeated in Tartarus, sealed within the inside of the earth with special gates that nothing could theoretically open. The winners got sidetracked by playing it gods and goddesses among men, since their powers and abilities were superhuman. Their genera are the genus of Saturn, the anthropomorphs, the race of Malhek of Anubis, with a body of man and the head of a jackal, the myth of the werewolves, one of the most dangerous, the races of Naruds, the Tagromorphs, the genus Wallach, with goat's feet and head, the satyrs of Greek mythology, the Ravak, race of centaurs, the genus Kare, with the body of a man, the head of a bull, remember the Minotaur, the red-blooded genus, the genus Dusvek, which are the Cyclops, the genus Lonsvek, with a human body and a feline head, the genus Sarne, with the head of a bird and the body of a man, the genus Lamech, with the body of a cat and the head of a bird, the genus Kasnav, the body of a man, the head of a reptile, the reptilians of ufologists, the Mazrave, genus of the body of a winged bull and the head of a man, the genus Zazradek of the well-known centaurs of Greek mythology, the genus Baphomet of bats, the myths of vampires, the Kashraba, genus of headless people, the race of Vasranek, the race of the gray slaves of the Nephilim, the gray aliens. They, either from fear or from the amazing powers they had, were worshipped as gods by the people. Over the years, the oppression of the Nephilim reached extremes. We were either used as slaves or as food until Zeus was born, a Cronian Nephilim who, despite all his character flaws, had a developed sense of justice. His powers approached those of their ancestors, the Elohim. Thus, two camps were created, that of the Nephilim, who followed Saturn, the father of Zeus, and believed that humans are to serve them, and, on the other hand, those led by Zeus, who believed that humans should have rights, and after his conquest, together with other anthropomorphic Nephilim, they called themselves El. Zeus managed to limit the Nephilim to a very large extent and give them freedom and rights to humans. He gave freedom and rights to humans. Have you ever wondered why, even today, we have streets named like Sotiris Theos Street? Zeus' father, Saturn, was confirmed to Atlantis with his like-minded people, and Zeus set up Olympus as a command post. The 12 gods of Olympus, the Olympian gods of ancient Greece. But it didn't take long for the war to come. This is how the Hellenic Atlantean War took place, with disastrous results, known from ancient Greek writing. The defeated surviving Nephilim were all shut up in Tartarus and sealed there, except for 1,900 of them. Zeus's reign lasted 1,000 years, and then he was commanded by God, through Elohim, to leave the earth, which he did not like at all, but he could not do otherwise. It's known that some gate was opened after the departure of Zeus, and Alexander the Great was ordered to close it again, as we shall see below. Saint Andrew, the Fool for Christ, tells us that about 72 kings, this was the land of Gog and Magog. The subchthonic, actually was in Taklamakan of the Mongolian desert, is where he locked them up in various areas of China and India. The subchthonic countries, that is, those living under the surface of the earth, that houses all of them. The filthy nations, that is, the abominable races, the Nephilim, in the Apocalypse are called the land of Gog and Magog. St. Andrew speaks of Indalia, that is, the region of India and the Himalayas, while according to other books, gates exist elsewhere as well. The 72 kings of the Nephilim are as follows, and these are their names: Baal, Hagor, Vasagos, Marbas, Samigina, Valifor, Barbatos, Amun, Beros, Pamon, Gusian, Beleth, Sitri, Leraz, Balaam, Camion, Elikon, Votis, Zephar, Vathin, Shalus, Marax, Pursos, Epos, Navirios, Aim, Galacia, Lapolos, Biun, Berith, Ronova, Forneas, Astaroth, Foras, Asmodeus, Geap, Forfor, Marcosias, Stolas, Phoenix, Halphas, Malphas, Raum, Focalor, Vepar, Sax, Sapnok Ra, Vinet, Bifrons, Voal, Hagendi, Crosel, Furcas, Murmur, Orobas, Gremori, Ose, Alokes, Orias, Vapula, Zagan, Valak, Andral, Horus, Andrelphos, Kimegan, Amdusis, Belial, de Carabia, Ami, Sire, Dantalion, and Andromalius. And the gates were inviolable. The underground tribes of these Nephilim, as a result of mixing with people, grew and became more numerous, and some of the gates happened before Christ came to be opened. The then individual people with faith in the one God undertook their sealing. The last recorded gathering of the fugitive Nephilim, the underground Nephilim, and the sealing of the gates that had been opened is what we read in the text of St. Andrew the Fool for Christ. Also in the text from the 15th century, whose author remains unknown, it's mentioned that Alexander the Great closed the vile nations, these Nephilim, with bronze gates surrounded by incomparable glass. That is because the copper alone is not enough and could be broken. It was surrounded by a kind of a glass incomparable, which means a form of energy field. Thus, the gates remain sealed until the last years come and they are opened by the angel of God. There's also a text from the 7th century which vindicates and confirms again St. Andrew the Fool for Christ, that Alexander sealed these gates. Why isn't there more information about these gates? Initially, there is no information about these activities of Alexander, since all relevant ancient texts are carefully hidden. There are many sources that tell us about these gates, but these writings are well hidden in libraries in Jerusalem, the Vatican, Nevada, and Macedonia. In various books, for example, the Book of the Secrets of the Third Temple of Solomon, written by Dimitra Papadakis, on this subject, you could say that the seal of the Nephilim is located in the Taklamakan Desert, Xinjiang Province, North China. The name Taklamakan in the local language means you go in but you never go out. That's how deadly it is. So there is an ancient and enormous pyramid, at the top of which once stood the temple of Baal. So under this ancient pyramid, called the White Pyramid, there is an underground state called the Ma-Tane, which in the Nebrem language means the White State, the White Brotherhood, of which even the elders of Mount Athos, the monks of Mount Athos, know, is essentially a 12-member council composed of Nephilim and other primordial demons, which are Azazel, Azalion, Azaradel, Azael. These 4 demon angels will be given authority to wreak great havoc on the earth in the last years, in the end times. In conjunction with the history of the prophecy of St. Andrew the Fool for Christ, Alexander the Great closed the Nephilim, these unclean, abominable nations, under gates under the White Pyramid in 326 BC, as well as gates located in India. There are portals in other parts of the earth as well as in the North Pole. In fact, he closed 72 kings, as St. Andrew says. So it is these kings who will come out in the last years with their followers and torment the world. They will not kill him, but torture him until all receive the sealing of the beast, the seal of the beast, the mark of the beast. St. Andrew says that their power over the earth will last for 660 days. While the passage that follows from the Apocalypse, there is a talk of only 5 months, that is 150 days, because the world will not endure any longer. Apocalypse chapter 1:10. And they have tails like scorpions and centaurs, and in those tails they have power to wrong people 5 months. If you read the prophecy of St. Andrew the Fool for Christ, it says that they will eat people alive and drink their blood. They will also devour flies, frogs, dogs, and all filth with great relish. Doesn't that remind you of, who tells us to eat insects? The Nephilim have farms of shared humans which they use as slaves as food. To the Nephilim, humans are nothing more than domesticated animals, and in their language they call them goyim, which means edible. And the Nephilim cannot come out of these gates except for the most spiritually powerful of them. When summoned, just as with the summoning of ordinary demons, they call their return to earth the Great Return. These gates will be opened by the Antichrist in the last years. It's no coincidence that it has been said that the martyrs of these years will be the greatest of all time. And this I've translated from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.